भाई सारे मजाक तो नहीं उड़ाएंगे ना?
बहुत डर लग रहा है मेरे को, ये तो बाद में पता चलेगा बट
फिर तो हो गया रिकॉर्ड। बोले कैरेट्स एंड कॉन्वर्सेशंस।
कि लोगों को कैरेट्स एंड कॉन्वर्सेशन नाम समझ आएगा कि नहीं,
कैरेट से वो गाजर तो नहीं समझ।
या फिर
वो
वाला carrots.
वो क्रेट्स एंड
Crates and
कैरेट्स। गुड टू गो।
And action.
Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of Carrots in Conversation. I am Prakhar Somkia, the founder of Sutra Fine Jewelry. We manufacture fine Polki and Jarau jewelry made with precious gemstones and diamonds.
Hi everyone, this is Avi Gokru, the co-founder of Gemco. So we basically ethically source and manufacture East African gemstones such as tanzanites, aquamarines, tourmalines, savarites. And we've been in me and my father, we've been in this industry for the past 3 decades.
I remember, I think 6 months ago, we were sitting and having dinner and we had a conversation ki aisa kuch, let's start a podcast. And I'm so glad ki, this is finally happening and we are sitting and having this conversation. The best part is that it does not feel like that we are doing a formal podcast because apan jab bhi bahar jate we talk about our industry and everything. So it just feels like another conversation, but maybe in front of the camera, right?
This is so true, the love that we both the brothers have for gemstones and the gem and jewelry world, makes us think that this is an industry where there's no niche there's no idea about what the world of gem and jewelry all is. We just know the word gem and jewelry. As a layman, they just know the word, but they don't know what the industry is all about. So, we've been in the industry since the past 2 or 3 years. So we can't give out gyan. Gyan to pan kisi ko de nahi sakte because
Correct.
we've got no experience.
Correct.
But even if we just tell the basic, the nitpicks of the gem and jewelry industry, it accounts for a lot because this is a very tricky, secretive, discreet industry.
Exactly. I remember that, when I was just starting out 2 years ago, I tried searching a lot that, how to make it in the gem and jewelry world and, how is the process, how does the process work, how does the marketing work, and, how to actually learn about this industry. But to my surprise, there was no one talking about it.
True.
So I think even though we cannot give gyan and wisdom, but even the basics, if we start with and we document our journey, because we are also learning and making mistakes every day. So even when we document this journey, I think it can help a lot of people who maybe want to buy gems and jewelry or want to get in the industry of gems and jewelry.
So true. So for our viewers, we could just tell you that, if you're someone who's hooked to the world of gem and jewelry, fine gemstones, fine jewelry, and you just want to know the raz or the secrets or how does this industry work about or go around, so you should be hooked to us and let's go ahead.
I think that if you're looking for answers for questions like are gems and jewelry really valuable, or how not to get cheated if you're buying gems or jewelry, then this podcast is for you. And in the first podcast, I think we will be uncovering the basics of gem and jewelry. And so without further ado, let me get into the first segment that we are going to discuss. So in the first segment, I think the first segment we should discuss is the value part of gems and jewelry. And so एक जेमस्टोन या एक ज्वेलरी पीस की वैल्यू के बहुत सारे एस्पेक्ट्स होते हैं. सो आई थिंक देयर आर 3 मेजर एस्पेक्ट्स. सो फर्स्ट आता है आपका फंक्शनल और द कॉस्ट साइड ऑफ वैल्यू. द सेकंड इज द इमोशनल और द ईयरलूम वैल्यू ऑफ जेम्स एंड ज्वेलरी, एंड द थर्ड वन इज द एसेट और द रीसेल वैल्यू ऑफ दिस. सो आई थिंक कमिंग टू द फर्स्ट थिंग विच इज द फंक्शनल वैल्यू, आई वांटेड टू आस्क यू दैट eventually gemstone है तो पत्थर ही, it's a piece of rock, right? So what is it that makes a gemstone, a piece of gem, truly valuable? Why is it so costly and so expensive to buy or sell?
I think this is a question that most of our viewers, anyone that's hooked to us, should be, they must be willing to know what is it. So, we see a pebble and we see a gemstones. Mm-hmm. Both are considered as rocks. But why is the latter one considered a gemstone? Is due to numerous factors, So it's been mined ethically, mining, and there are several processes that includes from mining the stone to getting the gemstone into its ready form. There are numerous steps involved, and each steps adds value to it and adds cost to it. Mm-hmm. So basically, and due to its functionality, the status symbol, and the rarity and the chemical composition that gemstones can't be made in a day or two.
Right.
They've been the chemical compositions, they've been decompressed and over thousands and thousands of years, and then we find one gem quality stone. Mm-hmm. So maybe these are the reasons that makes a gemstone truly rare and valuable.
So generally speaking, like so from the fact of mining of a rough and trying to find gemstones to the point where it is a final beautiful gemstone, which we use in jewelry. How long does it really take?
For us, it's from it being mined to getting it in our hand to manufacturing it and then cutting, polishing. It's a lengthy process, maybe 7 to 8 steps. And then the further steps that the jewelry industry takes about, you could just shed some light on it because you've got more experience in the jewelry industry.
Absolutely. So I think for jewelry, the functional value has two aspects again. So one is the value of the materials that we use, and the second is the craftsmanship involved. So when we talk about materials, so at Sutra, as we use the base as gold, and as you all know that पिछले 4 साल से since 2020 now 2025 पिछले 4-5 साल से from 40,000 gold has risen to approximately 90,000.
No, almost.
So exactly, almost double. तो gold की value तो है ही. I think I don't need to tell that. The second thing is gemstones, as you very clearly explained that gemstone hold a lot of value because of the rarity and ethical sourcing and how beautiful they look. So I think since we use all the materials from gemstone to diamonds to gold, we are using everything that is valuable and precious, so that automatically makes jewelry precious. Now the second part is combining all of it and actually making a piece of jewelry.
Right.
So since we make handmade jewelry, so you can find all kinds of jewelry, but since we manufacture handmade jewelry, so every piece, from the base of the piece to the final meenakari that we do in Jadao jewelry, everything is done by hand by several karigars, and each karigar specializes in their own thing.
100%.
So the time and dedication that it is, taking to finally get that piece ready is another aspect that adds a functional value. And more than just cost value, it is also a piece of art.
100%.
And that's why the value is there.
In the gemstone industry as well, our artisans are called as ustads. So ustad basically means someone who's a pro in
Right.
his or her own field. So they've been there in the industry. They've been cutting gemstones, polishing them since the past decades. I don't know, like years and years, and it's been passed down from generation to generation. So that's what they're called ustads. So they know how to cut, where the polishes, where the facets are to be made. And that's why, this is something that I cannot gain knowledge like on the net, or maybe I
Correct.
cannot just ask someone. It is something that takes practice and years of work.
I think this is one thing that I realized when I started going to the factory, that so all our karigars have been working since their forefathers. And it is a technique that has been passed down. तो आपकी घाट एक टेक्निक होती है पर्टिकुलर, या मीनाकारी एक टेक्निक होती है. हर चीज उनकी सीखी हुई है through generations. So to learn it now is much more difficult. But you have to be there probably to actually learn. You cannot. It is not something that can be learned. I think
By the books, yeah.
By the books, yeah. Makes
Very
sense.
true.
So I think this is, as far as the functional aspect is concerned. Before we move on to the next aspect, which is the emotional aspect, I had another question for you. So I don't know if you believe in this or not, but there is another big market in terms of gemstones, which is the astrological value of gemstones. So I've heard this a lot कि रूबी पहनो पावर बढ़ेगी, या पुखराज पहनो लक बढ़ता है, या एमरल्ड पहनो 6 रत्ती 7 रत्ती, which is the weight categories of emeralds, and उससे it will help you in life to solve problems. Do you actually believe that it helps you out, or do you think it's just a marketing myth?
You wear any gemstone, वो वैसे ही इतना बड़ा status symbol है, power तो अपने आप ही बढ़ जाती है. But personally, in the 21st century, or considering myself as the Gen Z, I personally don't feel that it accounts to some astrological value, or maybe it gives you power. But this has been said by our forefathers, and
Right.
it's been passed on to generations that ruby or sapphire gives you power, diamond calms you down, or maybe Pukhraj and other the Navratan, or the 9 gemstones.
Right.
But it's been said, and you can't really debate on it. So there is some astronomical value, but our generation, or the generation that's just down below us, they wouldn't probably believe in this. They'd wear gemstones more because of their rarity and the emotional value and the functionality and the cost that is associated with it, rather than the astrological value. Is it the same in jewelry, or how's it?
I think as far as it is concerned about astrological value, I surely don't know that do gemstones actually hold astrological value, or do vibrations in the earth relate to gemstones and help you out. But I definitely feel that when you wear gemstones, you feel more confident and powerful, and that maybe leads to the manifestation that it is actually working.
Very true.
And you know what you call a placebo effect, that you wear a gemstone and you start feeling lucky already, and if something good happens, then you start thinking that okay, this gemstone is working for you. So I'm not sure if the astrological value is there, but I definitely feel that it helps you manifest in the right direction, where it can make some real
Maybe
life
gives you
impacts.
wings.
Fair. Maybe. So that's as far as my opinion is considered on the astrological value. I think like another aspect which I think is most important for me, and I wanted to understand what it means to you. What is the emotional value or the heirloom value of gemstones, like of precious gemstones, like let's say tanzanites?
So tanzanites, or be it any gemstones, from the day it's been mined to the miner that has been associated with it, to the day it's been, to the day it comes out of the mines, gets cobbed, gets to the factory, gets faceted, polishes. So there are various people that have been associated with, and all those artisans, all those workers, they put their heart and soul into it. So creating or manufacturing one piece takes a lot of time. It's not a day's job, or it's not an hour's job that I just do it and it's done. So each and every step that has been passed down, it creates a lot of emotional value. And then coming down to the consumer's point of view, I'd say, like, for example, I recently gifted my wife a tanzanite. So
Wow,
we
lovely.
manufacture tanzanite. So I gifted her tanzanite, and every time she wears it, it makes me feel so happy, so jolly, and it gives me a feeling that something that we've manufactured,
Right,
my
right,
wife
right.
wears it, or my mother wears it, or someone that I know wears it. So I'm associated with the stone and with the jewelry that's been made.
Fair.
So for the jewel, I think in jewelry it creates a lot more steps, a lot more craftsmanship. So I think there is a lot more emotional aspect related to jewelry.
I think, when it comes to jewelry, I think for me particularly, emotional value of jewelry is so high. So I've seen, gemstones and jewelry being passed down from, so I think Meri Parnani had this, bajuban that she gave to my mom.
Oh, lovely.
And my mom wears it now, and, probably she'll pass down to, the day probably I get married
Yes, soon.
to my wife. Maybe soon, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, so maybe so when that gets passed down to generations, so you can actually relate to the cultural value of something so precious. On the same hand, I remember the first time I wore a piece of jewelry. I think it was Diwali. Around I was 15 or 16, and there was this beautiful brooch my father manufactured in I think Golconda diamonds. And जिद करके मैंने उनसे बोला कि मुझे ये पहनना है, and like after a lot of that he gave me the brooch and I wore it. And honestly speaking, I don't remember how precious that brooch is. That's not the memory I have. What I remember is उस दिवाली पे how the things were, how I was excited to burst crackers and everything, and they were concerned कि ये खो देगा या ऐसा कुछ कर देगा. And so eventually whenever I wear this now, so it just takes me back to that Diwali. So I think
feeling of nostalgia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And since fine jewelry lasts forever technically, so if you take
True.
care of it, it can last probably hundreds of years. So I think it makes for a very good way to embark milestones in life. So as you said, you recently got married and you gave your wife a pair of tanzanites, let's say. So I think it embarks a big milestone. So I think
100%.
that's why jewelry has such a high emotional and heirloom value overall.
Very true.
So I think like a lot about emotions, but I think eventually one more thing people care about emotions ke alawa is also the resale and the asset value of jewelry. And it's such a beautiful thing that we are discussing all these three values, and jewelry और gemstones में दोनों में इतनी सारी तरीके की value addition होता है, and that's why maybe they're so important as an industry. So what according to you is the real asset value of a gemstone? Does it have any resale value? Because I think a lot of people know कि gold का तो भाव चल रहा है, तो
Because
people know
it's
कि gold की
standard.
resale value है. Diamond के people have different policies on resale value, but gemstones का people don't know. So but according to you is like, do they have any resale value, or how does it really work for you?
100%. There is a lot of resale value. You just talked about gold or diamonds. They are a lot more standardized products or items rather than the gemstone world. Because each gemstone piece differs from the other. I cannot say that this stone is the same as the one I had before. You know, it's a very tricky market, and it's something that people say कि हम गल गए as in कि मेरे को trick कर लिया, मेरे को झांसे में फंसा लिया. It's not the case, but you know, if we invest in good cut gemstones, you know, transparent stones with all the 4 C's that we have, and you know, investment grade stones, then the value appreciates like even more than gold or any other metal that we can compare, because you know, gemstones are super rare.
Right.
Gold is also a finite metal, but
Right.
you know, gemstones are even more rarer. Some gemstones are rarer than diamonds.
But is it like, I mean, so is the rarity thing, so I just had a follow-up question on that a lot of people say that some gemstones are very, very rare, but is it always true that they are rare, or can it also be a marketing sort of an angle that, you know, they're shown to be rare? Because in diamonds there's a lot of talk कि it's not really rare and it's very commercialized. So is it the same for gemstones, or do you think they're truly exceptionally rare?
Do you want me to spill the beans? So basically,
Probably.
it is rare. Gemstones are super rare, but you know, some stones like Tanzanite, it's
Right.
just mined from just one place in the entire world. So
I think that's why it's called Tanzanite.
Tanzanite,
only
because
there
it's
in Tanzania.
it's mined in Tanzania. So that's why. And you know, other stones, diamond is also super rare, you know. But you know, until if you buy a commercial grade piece that is opaque, you know, the cut, clarity, everything's not good. You know, one cannot guarantee its appreciation or the resale value. But a good, clean, super clarity stone, and be it sapphire, ruby, semi-precious such as Paraiba, Savarites, they all increase in value.
Right.
And once put into jewelry, you know, you'll tell us more.
I think so. When it comes to the resale value of jewelry, so it is a very controversial topic per se, because a lot of people are very concerned that what is the resale value of their jewelry, and you know, like, do gemstones really have, or diamonds really have value? And I would, especially polkis. So in our kind of jewelry, people think that polki really has no value,
Right.
but it does have a very good resale value. But you have to know how to actually get, you know, what kind of jewelry to buy. Especially when we talk about top quality, top grade polkis, they do appreciate in value with time. So again, as you mentioned that, you know, there are investment grade in jewelry, and there is a commercial way of jewelry. So डिटेल में इसको डिस्कस करने के लिए आई थिंक वी शुड डू अनदर पॉडकास्ट, यू नो, जिसमें अपन रीसेल वैल्यू की पर्टिकुलरली बात करें.
So, in short, we could say that you know, buying polki jewelry from Sutra is going to appreciate in time.
I mean, absolutely. If you're looking for investment grade jewelry, then you know,
Sutra it
we can
is.
help you out. And if you're looking for beautiful tanzanites, I think Avi generally deals with B2B, but I think if you're one of our viewers, he can hook you up to something great.
100%. A discount for Carrots and Conversation.
Yeah, I
viewers.
think Carrots and Conversation viewers we'll have a discount there.
Very true. And we won't trick them, you know. Darling,
Isn't that what all jewelers say? That we won't trick you.
myth or a fact, don't know.
But yeah, so I think so polkis की या gemstones की काफी अच्छी resale value है, but आपको investment grade gemstones और polki और jewelry में invest करना होगा.
Should know what to
तब
buy.
जाके- Exactly. So I think we can probably get into it later into a new episode, that how to actually invest into gems and jewelry, right?
Right.
So I think we've discussed, you know, quite in detail about value. To get into more details, I think we should do another podcast where we actually talk about the reselling value and these things.
Right.
And so let's move on to our next segment, which is actually discussing about the business of gems and jewelry. That how does this business really work? Because क्या है कि एक general business में marketing होती है, sales होती है, and there are ways to do sales, but I think it significantly differs for gems and jewelry. So, like, I wanted to ask you that how do sales, or what is the process of selling, especially in terms of gemstones?
So it's a different world altogether, you know. For example, in each industry, the customer is the king. So for us, it's true. Our customer is the king, but you know, the brokers are the senapatis, or basically they are those people who direct the kings on what to buy, how to buy, and from whom to buy. So you know, gemstone industry, the B2B one, is basically governed by, or maybe it's been ruled by the brokers or the dalals that we call them.
Correct.
So, you know, they're the ones that tell us that this XYZ person wants these stones. Can you supply it to them? If you can, what price? And then they do the negotiations or the sant word. That is, you know, you and me, if, for example, you and me are the customers, we've got a broker and he'll negotiate the deal between us. And he'll take care of everything, the payment terms, the everything related aspects to buying and selling of the stones.
So basically, you mean to say that a broker in your industry is a independent party who
Right.
is actually acting as someone who can help you sell your goods?
Sell or buy the stones.
Okay, sell or buy the stones. Okay, fair.
And this industry is not as standardized as gold and diamond, because gold ki price ye hai, and we could actually check the diamond price to Rappaport and through
Right.
other networks. So it's a lot. It's more standardized than gemstones. In gemstones, each and every piece is different. So one tanzanite could be, for example, 10 rupees. One could be of 100 and one could be of 1,000.
Right.
All three of them are tanzanites, but they hold different values.
So generally, since you said that there is no standardization, कि लोगों को पता नहीं है कि okay, there is no price range. So does that actually mean more profit because there is no standardization of prices?
In B2B, I don't think so. It's more profit. We don't do retail, so we don't know a lot about
Right.
retailers.
Right.
But in B2B, it's minimal profits. That's what you say, and that's what we
Yeah,
don't do.
That I was
is-
like, yeah, minimal profit तो नहीं है, I think, but fair. I mean,
But
like,
B2B gemstones don't have a lot of profit. Don't have a lot of profits. But gems, the world of jewelry, as they say, कि jeweler है तो पैसा है. So is it something, or how do you do your marketing, sales? Is it the same that you've got brokers, or
Right.
how's it?
so ideally, jewelry में brokers, as you said, they are the senapati of the industry, which I
Right.
like 100% agree with. I think recently, in the last 3-4 years, since jewelry is a more media-oriented, business, so manufacturers and retailers are starting putting themselves out there in the media. So अब directly भी jewelers एक दूसरे से connect हो जाते हैं. तो पहले तो
nice.
like 100% of the work used to happen through brokers, especially in B2B.
Right.
So we used to give goods to a broker who's a trusted person, as you said. But अब I think it is ideally something like कि we are also directly connecting with retailers and boutiques, and I think the sales method is changing on that part.
Yeah, that's a makeshift, basically.
Yeah. And as far as the profit is concerned, so I think jewelers do make reasonable profit. I think it's the same in B2B that retailers के लिए
Reasonable is a word that's, it's confusing. Just kidding, yeah.
I think B2B में particularly, since every person knows what kind of a margin is there, so the margin is minimal. However, since you're invested in goods that don't really depreciate in value, so that is where the real money is made.
The inventory keeps on
हाँ,
rising.
because I think as you said, gold है, भाव है, बढ़ता ही जाता है. We have
True.
seen अभी हो रहा है. Diamonds में भी rep निकलता है. तो I think that is one place जहाँ पे एक value आता है jeweler के लिए, that हम उन चीज़ों में invested है जो हमेशा value retain करते हैं. So that is one segment about it.
All right, that's pretty good, because gemstones, jewelry, they may sound the same. They are the same industry, but the ways of marketing and selling is totally very different.
100%. So I feel that selling, especially, I think it is so different in the world of jewelry, because I remember, in college I used to learn that to sell you need to, be after your customer and keep taking follow-ups, keep nudging them. But I think jewelry and gems are a business of patience.
100%.
That आपको काफी शांत भी रहना है. You should know when to talk, when not to talk. You can't really push a sale because it's not a necessity. मतलब you are
Obviously.
selling something which is on the toppest end of luxury. So you have to be calm, you have to be composed, and you don't have to lose patience. And I think especially our age, I think people our age, especially me or maybe even you, we don't have the habit of being very patient. So I think that is one thing that I'm learning as in when I'm, working with my father.
Right. This is the luxury industry, so I cannot go after my customer and say ki low, or I can't do like becho, kharido. I cannot expect someone in the luxury industry, like for example LV or Dior, coming to me ki buy. No. I go to the store, even if I've got money to spend, I can spend. It's a very patientful, it's a long process. It takes years and years for a stone to move, because we've got one stone, maybe, if what I can remember, it's from like maybe 25 years, 5 years post my dad started working, he bought a stone.
Right.
He thought it's a good stone, an investment grade stone. He could sell it super fast and super easy. But it's been 25 years. It's the value is appreciated, but we haven't still found the right buyer of it.
It is such a coincidence that I have the exact same story. So my father started a business of rubies actually 25 years ago. So he bought a rough of rubies, and so he bought it 25 years ago. And till this date, we have not found a buyer for it. So again, since the value keeps appreciating, but till then it is difficult to find. So obviously इसकी marketing और sales काफी अलग है.
So any buyers for Sutra, Ruby, so you can contact anyone. So yeah,
100%. If you're looking for,
25-year-old Ruby
we have 25-year-old rough, so you can just get in touch with us and we'll give you a great deal.
right. That's
Big.
super true.
So that's as far as the marketing is concerned. I think there is one more important aspect that I wanted to ask. That so when it comes to selling to the people who are your buyers,
Right.
So is it that you have to give them a lot of details, or is it that like they'll keep on negotiating, or is the process comparatively smoother than in a normal industry?
It is smoother as well, because we the Gen Z age. So what people have started doing is they've started to get certifications for the gemstones. Certifications makes it super easy because a certified like for example GIA, Gublin, and SSCF, they're all industry leaders in certifications.
Right.
So if I get a certification of a particular gemstones, I know that this stone is good. It is an investment grade stone.
Correct.
So it actually lowers down the possibility of anyone tricking someone into the business.
Fair.
But still negotiations happen in the B2B businesses. Negotiations happen. This is a part, and this is a part of life. We negotiate.
Correct.
At
Everyone wants
the
the best
vegetable
deal for
vendor,
them.
we still negotiate. So, be it any industry, negotiation is a part of it. But
fair.
it is a smoother process.
Fair. I think for jewelry, so when it comes to B2B, I kind of agree with you that negotiation is a part, especially Indians के लिए तो I think negotiation is a must.
They can't buy
no
without
matter how
negotiation.
much money you have, अगर आप धनिया लेने भी जा रहे हो, so you want to negotiate.
Very
So
true.
it's no different for gemstones.
True.
I think in the customer segment things are kind of different for me.
Okay.
Because I feel that so you have the aspirational kind of customers that it's an aspiration for them to buy something, so they want to know everything, that ये कहाँ का है, कैसे बना है, what is the certificate, they want to negotiate. But there are these luxury customers that don't really ask you anything. So if they trust you, if they like something, if they want it, they know they want it, and then it's the quickest sales process. So the build up to get those customers is very difficult.
It takes years for
Exactly.
someone to develop a
Customer base
trust
like this.
and everything. And
Correct. But once you get there, I think the process tends to get easier, I think.
very true. Once we start getting customers, and if the channel is super set, then it's easy. But nothing comes easy in life. So it
Correct.
takes a lot of process, a lot of years and hard work, and we just
started.
We've just started. So
a lot of years तो
अभी तो है बहुत
हाँ,
time
अभी
है.
बहुत time है. So I
बहुत
think,
मेहनत है.
Yeah, fair.
So now I think that we should go on to the next segment that we've thought of. It's rapid fire with carrots and conversations with no hampers in the end.
So our team has prepared some questions for us that we don't know. So we just got in these questions and we're going to ask each other. And hopefully the answers are rapid and full of fire. So
Truly.
I think we should surely begin.
Let's shoot.
So I'll start first then.
100%.
Okay, Avi. So a rapid fire for you. So what is the most underrated and the most overrated gemstone according to you?
So according to me, the most underrated could be Savarite. Looks just like emerald, comes clean, and it's mined from just one place in the world. But the costing is way up. But the pricing of it is way below emerald.
So if anyone is looking for Savarites, please do
Contact
reach out to
Jumbo.
Avi. And the most overrated in your opinion?
Paraiba. Because it's a good neon blue colored stone, but the prices have increased many folds that I think for the end consumer it's super tough to buy a good clean stone.
Fair. Okay. If not into gemstones, what would you want to do?
If not into gemstones, never thought about it because since
that into the
since
business.
my childhood, my family, my parents, they've always said, "Ki, this is what we've created for you, and this is that you've got to join. If not this, I would just want to do some DJing or something a chill thing to do."
Interesting. DJ. Okay. Lab-grown gemstones, worth the hype or not worth the hype?
So lab-grown gemstones are not considered gemstones; they're called as synthetic, so they're not worth the hype for sure.
Fair. What is more important for you, color or clarity?
The clarity, because a good clear stone, a good transparent stone holds more value than just the color and an opaque stone.
So clarity.
Clarity for me.
Fair. What's the most misleading term in the gemstone industry?
बहुत पैसा है.
कहाँ है?
कहाँ है? You know, always.
Yeah, now you're just being modest, okay?
No.
So,
Actually,
to our viewers, Abhi is the king of Tanzanite, especially in
I
India.
wish I wish that was true, but you know, everyone thinks that if you're a jeweler, बहुत पैसा है, but all the cash is there in the inventory because you don't keep. If I do sales, I won't keep the money in my bank account. I'd buy more stones. I'd buy more rough. So
Correct. Liquidity means
liquidity is not there.
fair. Okay. Is gemstone certification always trustworthy?
It is trustworthy. You know, you're getting it certified from the big names, the big houses. You know, not smaller labs, I wouldn't say, but big labs such as GIA, Gublin, SSCF. Their certifications hold a lot of value, and you know, in terms of pricing as well. So if I have a certified stone, it gives me a chance of selling it super easy.
Correct. Fair. Okay. Now here are some choices that between some things. So ruby or sapphire?
Ruby, the king of gemstones.
Emeralds or sovereign?
Sapphire is this, the underrated stone.
Okay. Tanzanite or tourmaline?
Tanzanites forever.
Gemstone in gold or platinum?
Platinum looks even better. You know, the stone shines more, and you know, it gives more luster to the stone.
Sad for me, we don't do platinum, but okay.
Gold's good as well.
Gold. Okay. Vintage cuts, old mine cuts, or modern cuts?
Modern cuts, you know, because our generation, you know, we've just recently created a dice, a gemstone dice. So that is something super unique, super modern cuts. You know, we've got fancy shapes as well.
So can you play with that dice?
Yeah, we can play. It's a costly one.
A costly thing to play
Costly
with.
dice.
Okay. Opaque or transparent gems?
Transparent, I just talk about, you know, a good transparent stone holds a more value for me.
Okay. That was the last question. So great answers. So yeah. Wow.
Thank you. It's time for you to shoot. So
Absolutely. Okay.
So some questions for Prakhar, starting with the best and worst gemstones to work with.
I think the best gemstone to work with is opal for me. I just love the kaleidoscopic effect that has, the variety of colors that it exhibits. I think it's very difficult to work with rubies because they're just so overpowering as a stone. So jewelry se zyada overpowering rubies ho jate hain. So it's kind of difficult. But I love rubies, but it's kind of difficult to work
King
with.
of gemstones,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Second question, most copied design in jewelry industry?
Oh god, I think Cartier bands are the most copied design. मतलब I remember जब मैं इंडस्ट्री मतलब जब मैं जूलरी का काम चालू किया था सबसे ज्यादा इंक्वायरीज ये आती थी कि कार्टियर बैंड्स बनाते तो आई थिंक दैट्स द मोस्ट कॉपी डिजाइन इन
The love bracelets.
yes the love bracelets love rings or even the claw they're the most popular yeah
A jewelry trend you would hate?
I think there's this trend पता नहीं some nail jewelry that people wear jewelry on their nails I'm not particularly fond of it I feel it's sort of gaudy so not very
You don't want to make one?
not really
Not really. All right. Lab grown diamonds, worth the hype or not?
I think technology-wise, worth the hype. Like it's a miracle to create something like this. But buying-wise, value-wise, not worth the hype.
Not at all. Oh, lovely. Strangest bargaining tactic used for a customer.
So
मेरा माल सस्ता है.
so strangest bargaining tactic used by a customer actually who was placing an order with us. So they placed an order with us and we designed the whole thing for them and everything was set. After everything has been done and we're just ready to just hit production, that was when they started bargaining. So they okayed the price. So now since you're so deep into the, you know, कि इतना काम हो ही चुका है, then you are also like, okay, now what do I bargain?
Lower down
So
the
that was the strangest, but like technically a very smart tactic because now I'm indulged.
कि अब आपका माल महंगा हो गया. Right.
So I had to actually give them the bargain.
Right.
But please, looking forward that Sutra customers don't start doing it now.
Heavy bridal sets or minimal jewelry?
I think calling it minimal jewelry, but with a lot of detail. So I'm not very fond of heavy bridal sets because the use is not there. But minimal jewelry with a lot of detail, I really like.
Sabyasachi jewelry or Manish Malhotra jewelry?
Sabyasachi, like it's more innovative, I think. Manish Malhotra is just doing jewelry with high-end stuff, but the designs are better in Sabyasachi.
Are you sponsored by Sabyasachi? Just kidding.
Maybe one day.
Amrapali's Oxide Jewels or Gem Palace Classics?
I think Gem Palace's classics. I love their design language.
Oh,
I've read a lot of books by Gem Palace actually and taken a lot of inspiration from them as well. Yeah,
They're an inspiration for all.
100%.
Brooches or cufflinks?
Brooches, मतलब cufflinks दिखते ही नहीं है मतलब as such. So they're a very subtle way, but I like brooches. मतलब like brooches more.
post the Anant Ambani wedding. I guess.
Yeah. Plus, we made a lot of brooches recently.
Okay, so you've got to sell them.
Yeah, I gotta sell them.
Plain gold jewelry or studded polki jewelry?
We make studded polki jewelry, so yeah.
Oh,
Studded
that is
polki
it.
jewelry.
Lovely. Gemstone engagement ring or diamond?
Gemstone engagement ring. You know, as you identify that every gemstone is so different. So I think the same way, you know, every engagement is also very different, and the gemstone signifies that better.
And some gemstones are rarer than diamonds. So
Yeah,
maybe
tanzanites
are
are
rarer
rare
than
than
diamonds.
diamonds.
100%. That was the end of rapid fire round, and you know the viewers can always tell us who the winner was, and we'll give the hamper to them.
Please put it down in the comments who you think the winner is.
Lovely.
Okay.
So,
So let's move on to the next segment now, which is called Uncut by Carrots and Conversations. So just like Uncut Gems, we have some raw questions that again the team has prepared for us, and we don't know what the questions are. So we're gonna take up each question, which is about our personal businesses, and we're gonna try and answer them to the maximum possible honesty.
hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. So probably let's start with the next.
Let's
round.
dive in.
Okay,
Prakhar,
perfect.
you go first.
Okay, I'll go first. And each of the question I think is done in a generic way, right? So it's done in a generic way. So I think we'll answer. So we both will answer each
To
of the
the same
questions,
questions.
right? Okay. So the first question: do gemstone and jewelry people secretly judge clients by the size of gemstone they choose?
100%. If a lady comes in wearing Tanzanite ring, or maybe a Paraiba set or a pendant, you know, I'll just go to her and like, you've got to try the new stones that we've just manufactured. So, you know, it creates an impact, you know. The jewelry speaks for yourself and speaks for your status as well. But judging no one, but, you know, the jewelry speaks for itself. So maybe I'd be a little bit more inclined to the ones who are already wearing gemstone jewelry rather than pitching to a new
Fair.
client. What about you?
I think, yeah, so even though like as a jeweler, like I would, you know, talk to everyone the same way, but I think it's a subconscious inclination that will happen. So I may not realize it overall, but automatically if someone is wearing big stones, bigger gemstones, I will be more inclined to serve them, you know, better automatically, I
100%.
think.
True.
Okay. Next
Sir, I'll
question.
pick the next question. It is, what's the biggest mistake you've made in your business, and how did your father react to it?
Oh God. I think I've made a lot of mistakes overall. Actually, I think since अपने को 2 साल हुए the first 2 years are actually for making mistakes only because you tend to realize a lot. I think I misplace a lot of keys. That's one mistake I keep getting, you know, scolded for by my father because if you leave something out, then, you know, it's a scary scenario. And I think one more time where I got, you know, scolded by my father by a mistake I made was I accidentally, a piece of gemstone fell and it broke down. And I think the loss that is incurred is one thing, but if you don't take care of jewelry and this keeps happening, so this is a very bad business practice. So yeah, I try to not make these mistakes now, but yeah, they happen.
They happen.
Yeah.
Well, so for me, I make mistakes every day. So that is for sure. But the biggest mistake, what I did, what I could recall is, because, you know, for example, our costing was 100 rupees. I costed the client 90 and he bought it. So it was a direct loss of it wasn't a direct loss of our profits. It was a direct loss that we incurred because I sold it lower than the cost price because you know I forgot the cost price. I was just new in the business and I quoted the wrong quote.
I remember in the same way what happened once. So I was talking to one of like our regular customers and they asked for the pricing sheet of this. So, but instead of the selling price sheet, I by mistakenly sent the cost price sheet. And then they saw the cost and I was so scared that okay, now they may buy or may not buy.
They'll know your profits.
Yeah, but since we charge reasonable profits, so they still bought the piece of jewelry for
That's
us.
nice.
Took a little bit more discount, but yeah, kind of worked out for the good.
Couldn't be considered as a mistake.
Well, not really a mistake, but it was quite embarrassing actually. Okay,
Next question.
I'll take the next question. What's the worst part about being in this industry?
You've got to talk a lot. You've got to have patience. Got to talk to everyone politely. Can't be, you know, like ki, why aren't we doing this? Why shouldn't we do this? It should happen in this way. You know, as a Gen Z garam khoon hota hai. So I just want ki aisa hi hona chahiye. Why shouldn't you buy more, sell more? And you know, so but in this industries, this industry one has got to have a lot of patience. And a skill on how to talk.
Correct. I think it's the same for me because I remember jewelry offices में जाना is like so I think that's the worst part, but that's something we have to learn. And everyone is sitting very calmly, बातें चल रही हैं, इधर उधर की बातें हो रही हैं. Because since we don't deal in we deal in higher end goods but lesser volume than everyday work.
True.
So I think because of that you have to have a lot of patience. चीज चलती से ही चलती है. And as you said, गरम खून अपने को सब चाहिए कि जल्दी जल्दी करना है, ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है. We want to go big, but that's not how it works. So that's the worst part. But again, we're learning.
My father says कि किराने की दुकान नहीं है. This is a gemstone and jewelry industry. So you can't sell every day. You've got to have patience.
Fair. But do you want to get to the day that you're selling every day?
Oh, I'd love to. The dream.
Same. I think it's a goal for me that to sell jewelry every day. That's the goal.
Lovely.
Fair.
Moving on to the next question. What's a tradition in your business that you find annoying and want to change?
आई थिंक ये आंसर पिछले आंसर जैसा ही है कि ज्वेलरी में सबकी आदत है गप्पे लड़ाने की टू टॉक अ लॉट टू चिल एंड देन द बिजनेस इज डन वेरी पेशेंटली सो वन थिंग दैट इज ट्रेडिशनल इज दिस आई थिंक वन मोर थिंग इज इट इज नॉट ऑर्गेनाइज्ड इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट कि आप ज्वेलरी को बारकोड करके ऑर्गेनाइज करो एंड एवरीथिंग हैज एसक्यूज एंड एवरीथिंग इज सेफ एंड यू नो वेयर एवरीथिंग इज बिकॉज थिंग्स कीप चेंजिंग हम कोई पीस खोलते हैं किसी और में लगा देते हैं कभी कुछ हो जाता है कभी कुछ हो जाता है एंड देयर सो मच it is very difficult to keep track of value also because gold prices keep changing every day, diamond keeps changing every day. So I think to be able to automate all this is something which has not been done yet properly, but I would love to do so.
So I think that there's something that's lacking in the industry, in the gemstone industry is basically the inventory management. We've got stones, we've got a lot of stones, but we don't know what we bought off. We bought at and what is the price today, and we don't know how the stones are. In emeralds, we've got to, keep it very safely. The stones should be safe and precise, and we don't know what. For example, in Tanzanite or maybe other stones, we don't know what we have a lot in stock, what is selling a lot and what is not selling. Just keep on buying. And whatever sells is sold, and then the rest we have is dead inventory basically.
Fair. And then it's very difficult to keep track
of what we're buying, and every day we're buying, and then every day it comes out of manufacturing.
I think we should do an episode on how to actually,
it is something that we can learn about
and then
tell our viewers
about कि actually if you're in the business की inventory कैसे manage करनी because I think ये actually बहुत ही difficult part है as I said मेरे business में भी I face this a lot.
Very true.
Fair.
Next question.
Okay, let's go to the next question. Do you think it's tough to establish yourself in the market among the big players? I think this question is not really applicable for you because Avi is already one of the biggest players, but yeah.
No, for us, I look up to, the ones we're selling to, the stones we're selling to, because, they're huge. They're in the industry from the past, they're in the industry since my age or maybe more than 25 years into my existence, So the way they function, to the way they cater to the clients, if a client, they're into B2B business, but if a client wants a small piece, they'll deliver it to them. The client is the king for them. So basically, there are some practices that they follow. And I look up to them, and then like me and my dad, we discuss how can we become like this one day. So dad says that step by step. It takes a lot of time.
It takes time.
They haven't gone big in a day or two. It's a process. It's a lengthy process of years and years. So maybe this is something that I look up to.
Fair. I think on a very similar hand, what I look up to is so technically in jewelry as of right now, a lot of players are just pouring in a lot of money and growing so big. But there are these established players who are calm. They keep steps very slowly but very firmly. But they've grown from the roots. I think a lot of people don't understand आप growth के चक्कर में आप profits losses सब भूल जाते हो आप customer acquisition के पीछे भाग जाते हो
right.
The startup culture of loss making I think jewelry में I am not very fond of that kind of culture and the people who are very focused on their roots और जो नीचे से उठे हुए लोग हैं जो धीरे धीरे generation wise बढ़ रहे हैं so I think I learn a lot from them and so if you take examples like Sabyasachi also I think Sabyasachi has worked for the last 30-35 years to get to a point where he is right so it's a thing of patience overall
it takes a lot of time
yeah and that's overall what I'm trying to learn from these players
lovely we'll hop on to the next question
yes
can you spill any insider secret about the industry a secret there are a lot of secrets first of all but some secrets are that पैसा तो है, बहुत
पैसा
ज़्यादा
तो
नहीं, थोड़ा है पैसा, बट बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है. You know, again, it all comes down to the patience and the inventory that you're holding, and you're right, buying, procuring. You know, if I buy the stones at a higher price, I've got to sell it at a higher price. You know, that slows down your pace of growth. But you know, this industry secret is, you know, keep a little bit of cash in hand, some inventory, and you know, your procurement should be the best, basically.
Fair. I think one secret about my industry is overall that so there's a lot of playing around with terms in jewelry, and I think that's a secret I would love to tell people. So जैसे tourmalines के एक particular color के उनको ruby light बोल देते हैं, so people start associating that okay it might be
Expensive.
close to the king of gemstones which is ruby. और gold plating को generally लोग 24 karat gold plating, 24 karat vermeil plating. It's very misleading because people start thinking कि अच्छा इसमें actually gold है कि नहीं है. So I think there are a lot of you know American diamonds. They're
80,
just,
yes,
80.
100%.
So they say American diamonds, but they're not really diamonds, right?
Yeah.
They are just like it's CZ. मतलब, it's
Just
a
like
part
American
of the
football.
Yeah. So just like
American football, you know, it's not really football.
It's not really football.
Yeah.
It's a totally different thing. So I think there are a lot of misleading terms like this, which you know buyers should always beware for. Yeah.
100%.
Next question. Who wrote this question? Gems and jewelry people are very rich. Comment on this. So I think we throughout the episode also अपन ने इस बारे में बात करी थी. I would say कि यार obviously पैसा तो है gems and jewelry के business में, but it is not that easy because you have to keep buying inventory. So I think cash flow is very tight, but the money is there. I think one more reason why people consider this is because, so for example, if you want to start a clothing business, let's say you take 1 crore worth of inventory from somewhere, and if you're not able to sell it, that actually goes to zero. But the best part about being invested in gems and jewelry is that even if you're not able to sell it, it still has value, which is going to appreciate with time. So I think that is why jewelers on paper तो बहुत you know are very rich, but I think cash flow wise jewelers are always in a pickle. So I think हमेशा it's a pickle. So
You know, for me as well, it's modest. It's not that much.
Modesty, yeah.
You know, because you know, as you just said, it's a year-long process.
Right.
You know, you've got to have patience. You know, you've got to know what to do, when to do, how to do it. But you know, but with all the patience comes money. So there is money as well.
Correct. So yeah, guys, in one short word, there is money in jewelry, but like
Takes a lot
it
of
takes
time.
a lot of time and patience. Correct.
Next question is, what's the best part about being in this industry is that you get to connect to a lot of like-minded people. You know, basically a lot of you know, someone that I look up to, and you know, this industry has a lot of people that have knowledge, or you know, they've been in the industry for the past so many years that you could, you know, just people could just look at the store and tell कि नहीं इसकी price ये होनी चाहिए, ऐसा होनी चाहिए. But till date, you know, we've been in the industry since the past 3 years only. So till date I cannot tell by just looking at the stone कि ये price होनी चाहिए. But you know, people who've got so much immense knowledge, you know, to just sit around with them and just listen to them, you know, is the best part or the perk of this industry, I guess.
Fair. I think the best part for me is you actually get to interact with the top 0.1% of the world.
The crème de la crème.
The crème de la crème. So, you know, you're interacting with the top people, you know, in the world, and they are your buyers, and, you know, maintaining relationships with them. So that actually changes your personality and lifestyle also accordingly.
And your
Perspective also, perceptions also. So you know, aim bigger, think bigger in this industry. So that's one thing. And second thing, since as we discussed, it's a very hidden industry. So you also feel you know, you are a part of that secret
The
club.
secret society.
The jewelry secret, jewelry and gems secret society.
Right.
कि मतलब अगर आप जौहरी हो तो आप एक वो अलग ही एक segment में आते हो जिसके बारे में लोगों को नहीं पता
होता है. True.
So because I see a lot of people in the industry, you know, like when I watch Shark Tank or D2C investors, they know a lot about all industries. So, you know, they know everything about maybe the clothing industry, the furniture industry, the fashion and everything. But when it comes to jewelry, I think the knowledge is very seldom. Because if you are in the club, then...
You're in the club, you know about the club.
You know about the club.
So it takes a lot of time to be in the club.
Correct. Next question.
Yes.
What's the most embarrassing moment that you faced in front of a client?
Most embarrassing? Maybe... Most embarrassing one could be, clients embarrass me a lot because, I've got no knowledge. So, some clients, they ask me questions about what is the chemical composition of the stone, or on the Mohs Richter scale, what is the hardness, So I'm left in an awe or something ki, अच्छा ऐसा भी होता है. I just know कि इतने रुपए का आता है इसको बनाने में time, but I don't know the chemical composition. So, some questions, because I'm not well versed in this industry, so there are some questions and some tricks and tactics that the customers ask about, and I feel embarrassed because I don't know it.
I think the same happens with me, but so currently, since the Sutra boutique is still under construction, so I don't interact with them face on face. So I always sit with a laptop, and they ask me a lot of questions, and just as you said, मेरे को भी बहुत चीजों का answer नहीं पता होते. So I'm just फटाफट googling and like, yeah, just a second, ma'am, hold on.
Yeah, hold on. I'll
get back to you, and then just I search on the internet and then answer those questions. So I think that is definitely one thing. But for me, the most embarrassing one is, I think I already said it, when I send a cost sheet to the customer. That was quite embarrassing. That okay, now they know all my costs.
Are they still your customers?
Yeah, they're still actually one of the more regular customers there.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's a great thing.
They know that you work on low profits.
Fair.
So we'll go on to the next question.
Yes.
The second last one,
The
indeed.
second last one, yes.
Since it's a family business, do you have complaints with your elders? Yes, and definitely a lot of them.
I think
because,
both of us could talk for 1 hour about this.
Oh, it's a generation gap, because if me telling to my father that this is the way we could do it, he says no, you have got no knowledge. बैठ जा चुपचाप. बोले ज्ञान देने की जरूरत नहीं है. बोले मैं तेरा बाप हूँ. So this is what happens in the industry, and with the elders around, if we try and mold in a new way, they're not a lot. Then everyone's not dynamic to changes, but that is the flaw of the industry basically. You've got to work with how it is. You can't change it a lot. Step by step, you could change it.
I think it's so similar for me that I am telling my father कि this is trending, अपने को ये करना चाहिए, वो करना चाहिए. Like तू बैठ जा, अभी 2 साल हुए तेरे को. मैं 25 साल से बना रहा हूँ, जो तू ये कह रहा है ना, सारी बातें मुझे पता है. आराम से बैठ जा, टाइम आएगा, हर चीज का टाइम आएगा. So patient, be kind and patient, and everything will fall in place. But I think they push from their perspective, and we also push थोड़ा थोड़ा. तो वो कभी middle ground दे देते हैं. So they're like कि चल ठीक है, you want to make mistakes and try, चल ये ले, तू try कर.
True.
तू कह रहा है तो ठीक है, थोड़ी बातें सुन लेता हूँ. So I think it's always a back and
But that is a good part in the bad part of the industry as well.
Correct. So moving on to the last question that we have. So what is the one piece of jewelry or gemstone that you would love to see the Ambani family promote?
Oh, lovely. That's something, if they wear anything, it will be promoted for life, I guess. So I'd like to gift the Manis a piece of Savarite.
Okay.
Because, it's an underrated stone. So the family is long associated with emeralds. So, I'd like to change I'd like to make a mindset change that, you should go on to even better loop stones like Savarites, They love the color green. So Savarite's a green as well. So, something different, something from the East African side.
So Mukesh ji, Anand ji, Neeta ji, if anyone is watching, please wear
Savarites.
Savarites and please source them from
Gemco. Ethically sourced at Gemco.
Ethically source them from Gemco.
What about you?
For me, I would love to see the Ambani family in Polki jewelry, but with opals. I feel it is so difficult to make a perfect masterpiece using opals and Indian jewelry. But the amalgamation of both, if done correctly, is so beautiful. So I would love to see them in some different shades of opals, and I think it suits the colorful personalities that they have. So
you should gift one of these pieces super soon.
I never know. I never know if they wear it. I would definitely look forward to doing that 100%.
The Manis.
So I think this was the last segment of our podcast. So overall, in conclusion, we would like to say that probably next time, we would love to discuss something
in depth about the world of gemstones and jewelry.
Correct.
There are some treatments, maybe a heat treatment in gemstones, or basically how could we differentiate some gemstones from the other variety of gemstones,
and how to make the right choice when
you're
buying
the gemstones or jewelry.
So in episode 2 of Carrots and Conversations, I think we'll discuss all these topics in more detail. But probably we'll reveal the topic very soon.
100%.
But thank you so much for everyone who is watching.
And stay tuned to Carrots and Conversations.
आई थिंक अपन वैसे अगर बात करने बैठ जाए तो अपन 2-3 घंटे और बैठ सकते हैं बट लेट्स कंक्लूड दिस पॉडकास्ट
You know, if you'd like to ask any questions to us, you can just pin it down and in the comment section. And stay tuned to Cats and Conversations. Signing off, Prakhar and Avi.